Hopefully, the show will be recorded.
All right, we're rolling.
So, are the Cowboys starting to lose their mojo? Yeah, are the Cowboys starting to 49ers getting their mojo back? And which teams are going to have some mojo in the playoffs of Fantasy League? Well, we're going to try to answer those questions and a lot of others as we preview Week 15 in the NFL, as well as the first week of our league playoffs. It's Fantasy Football Fever. It starts right now.
And
And a pleasant good evening to all of you. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, December 13th, 2022. Only less than a couple of weeks away from Christmas. Wonder if y'all hopefully got your Christmas shopping going. Some of y'all may have not even started. I have a little bit, but hope everybody is in the spirit. My name is Tim McClellan. Thanks for joining us here. Due to some issues with the StreamYard and some of that, we're probably just going to be showing up on YouTube. So, any y'all watching out there, we invite you all to make your predictions with us. Please send us your fantasy questions because I know a lot of you players out there are going into fantasy playoffs of your own. So, whatever questions you have, just send them to us, and we'll do our best to answer them. Of course, joining me as always is the host of Hooked on Sports, the one and only John Flynn. How you doing, sir?
yay, hey, Tim! Fantasy football playoff season is in full swing, and are you ready to be one and done, Tim?
Uh, hmm. We'll answer that question a little bit later. I have to introduce everyone to the commissioner of our league, Mr. John Natali. How are you, sir?
Yeah, feeling great. This is the meat and potatoes of it all. The best part. We'll know in 3 weeks who comes out on top. Looking forward to it. Yeah, but hopefully you're not in the position I am. Down, have like 4 injured guys already. Got to scramble for replacements. Hopefully you guys
Sheesh.
are not in that position.
I mean, I in my other league, I was in that position because I had Lamar Jackson. Of course, he went down, but
Yeah.
of course, I had Trevor Lawrence, and he bailed me out. He had his best statistical game as a pro with 350 yards passing and 4 total touchdowns.
Yeah,
So
my big blow was Kyler Murray. I made a trade with Andrew to get him.
and now he's
I
an
didn't.
ACL.
Oh
I was
no!
thinking
Oh
about asking
man!
for Hurts, but I didn't want to get greedy.
Oh, wow! Yeah, you picked the wrong quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't want to get greedy. I was thinking about
Oh,
asking for Hurts, but I didn't think Andrew would go for it. I didn't want to get greedy.
Yeah, but what one of the reasons Andrew made the playoffs after getting off to such a bad
oh
start.
man!
Yeah,
That was a terrible. That was terrible. What happened to Kyler Murray? And I think
yeah,
I think we had reports saying that he's out for the season.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wow,
Oh,
that is
everybody.
unbelievable.
at least I still have Dak. Dak's been fine. He's been solid.
Yeah, everybody knew that it was an ACL the moment it happened. It was a
Yeah,
non-contact injury. The third play of the game, you had to know it was an ACL,
yeah,
we need to figure out how to condition NFL players to
yeah,
not get these ACL tears, and there could be a variety of factors.
yeah,
Like the surface. Is it time for the NFL to go universal in terms of
yeah.
surfaces because some stadiums use natural grass, some use um, synthetic turf, some use
Right.
natural turf.
Yeah. Now I wonder if Hopkins is going to be useful to me at this point. We'll see.
So I mean, Cole McCoy has been good with DeAndre Hopkins, but Hopkins has got a tough matchup against Denver this weekend, and
yeah, the defense has been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
despite their record.
I mean, which speaks to how inept Nate Hackett and Russell Wilson have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is just remarkable how things have gone. So.
So now I'm down Hopkins. I'm down Kenneth Walker II.
Oh, Kenneth Walker! Wow.
But he might play. He's questionable at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm down Damian Pierce.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like we finally have the results from this week in.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured Nick was the 3rd seed when all the tiebreakers would have been settled because we had 3 different people at 7 and 7.
Yeah.
But Nick was the only one who owned a head-to-head record, so that's why I figured he was 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no difference between the 4 seed and the 5 seed. That's like the same thing, basically.
So, because
it was our final week. Yep. Well, let's go back and review our final week in our regular season. I managed to get a victory over Alex Putnam, 123.9 to 101.38, thanks to good points from Jared Goff, Derrick Henry, and DK Metcalf. We both have equal records of 6 and 8. He is ahead of me in our division. I think he has a tiebreaker over me, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Yep, and that win puts you in the playoffs.
Yes, it does, and I really needed that victory to get in. And so did Andrew down here in this matchup. He took out Dino out of 162.28 to 150.48, thanks to big time points from Justin Jefferson. And he goes up to 6 and 8, 3rd in the Yabba Dabba Doo division. Dino goes down to 8 and 6, but still finished 1st in the Yabba Dabba division, and if not mistaken, is the number 2 seed in the playoffs here. Meanwhile, we have Casey giving a victory over Irene by a score of 157.46 to 114.22. Jerry Judy, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow was helping Casey's cause right there.
Oh wow, Jerry Judy finally going off in fantasy this year. I mean, the Broncos offense has been so bad all year, and they choose this week to show up when they're irrelevant now.
It happens sometimes, but of course, as Chris Berman always says, that is why you play the games. And right here we had our number 1 overall seed, John Flynn, with another victory, this time over our friend John Natale. 148.12 to 108.56. Trevor Lawrence, Austin Eckler, and Tony Pollard were the big scoring guys for Mr. Flynn's team. And of course, we know Mr. Flynn has locked up the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Meanwhile, even though Adam Oliver got a 105.08 to 98.7 victory over Nick Dennison, unfortunately, I don't think it was enough to push Adam into the playoffs.
Yep, you have the tiebreaker over him.
25.78 points for Patrick Mahomes. Yep. I got Njoku with 18.7, and the Philly defense and special 13 points right there. That was the final seed. Now let's take a look at our playoff brackets. And of course, our playoffs start this week. And we'll load that if my system will cooperate. So, still loading, still having connection problems. Going to have to talk with my technical director, Irene Namer. Going to have to talk to her and see what she can figure out on this. Well, here is our matchups for the first round of the playoffs. We have myself at the number 8 seed, just got in by the hair by Chitty Chien, even though I kind of trimmed it up a little bit here. But anyway, I'm facing off against John Flynn. This is the big rematch here because, as many of you know, I was the only person to give Mr. Flynn his only defeat of the year. So I think Flynn is kind of licking his chops over this one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but hold on, let's stop you for a second because the one time that I lost was because that's when two of my best players were on bye. It was week 7, and it was Stephon Diggs, who was one of my MVPs in fantasy, but and he was so reliable for the Bills all year. But yeah, he wasn't available, and as a result, I had a big drop off at the wide receiver position following him. So and I knew I was going to be vulnerable, but other than that, every single matchup I've scored at least 148 points in the other 13. So and it's been a dominant season for me.
Yes, it has. It has indeed. We are very envious of you, Mr. Flynn.
So, I mean,
we have a next matchup here, number.
Yeah, and I mean, some of your drafts, some of our team owners' drafts were very questionable. So maybe we need to take the draft more seriously then, as a league.
Yeah, I think we'll have to. Now, our next matchup in the playoffs is our number 5 seed, Casey, going against the number 4 seed, Mr. Natali. That's going to be interesting. Our next matchup is Andrew St. Clair. What did we say like 3 or 4 weeks ago? Keep an eye on this guy. And he worked his way into the playoffs. He's got Nick Dennison here in the first round.
He did the impossible. He started 1-7 and made it.
Yeah, and better enough, Andrew is projected to win his matchup because I have it on my phone right here on the app. So Andrew's at 145.5, and a lot of it's because he's got Jalen Hurts going up against the Bears, which is such a terrible mismatch that favors Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, definitely.
And then he's and then Nick Dennis is right now projected at 134.8, and I'm a little nervous for Nick because he's got Tua going up against the Bills, and Tua's looked like a double agent the last couple of weeks without protection on the offensive line. So so he's got to rely on Joe Mixon. He's got to rely on Michael Pittman. I love Michael Pittman's matchup against the Vikings on Saturday. The Vikings have the 32nd ranked pass defense, and Pittman's the number one receiver facing them. So I love that matchup for Nick, but it's gonna be a dogfight. But I think Andrew has some sort of an edge right now in that one.
And our final matchup for the playoffs, we have Dino locking up the number 2 seed, taking on Mr. Alex Putnam, who managed to get in at the number 7 seed. of which, let's go into the specifics here in our fantasy playoffs here. We'll look at our projected totals here for the first round here. Yeah, we don't really have to get any. Well, have to. The edge over Mr. Flynn. He is at 151.5. I'm at 115.2. Of course, I got Derrick Henry, Jared Goff, and Kenny Pickett. Justin Fields, Austin Eckler, and Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be interesting for that one here. And right now, as far as the matchup between Casey and Natalie is concerned, Casey is at an advantage right now, 123.7 to 119.8. And as Mr. Flynn just mentioned earlier, Andrew has an edge over Nick, 145.5 to 134.8. Alex and Dino is at 140 even. Alex is at 124.1. And in the consolation ladder here, we close score right here. Irene has a slight edge over Adam right now, 127.6 to 112.9. So that is how our playoffs are setting up right now. I am going to have to make some serious changes. Just try to look at some analytics here and there.
And
hopefully all of you will be looking at the analytics as well.
And I'm looking at your matchup, but you have Foster Moreau as your tight end right now, so you're gonna have to make a switch on that. But you have somebody on your team that can help you out there with that in Dawson Knox, and also even though pod numbers is projected to trail. In his matchup, he does have Jonathan Taylor on his bench, so it will give him a big boost in the projected total for him. So it's actually pretty even once he makes moves over there.
Right.
But most definitely the matchup I'm definitely looking forward to seeing is the one between Andrew and Nick, and if Nick can yank one out. That's the one I'm going to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say he did the same thing as Nelson Ezra, was it 2 years ago?
It's 3 years ago.
It was 2
our
years
friend,
ago.
3 years ago. So remember, this was when the regular season was 17 weeks. So the fantasy regular season ended after 13 weeks instead of 14 weeks, and Nell started 0-5 and made the playoffs, winning 7 of his last 8 weeks to get in with a 7-6 record.
Yeah.
That just shows you that anything can happen in this crazy world of fantasy football.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But we love it. We love it. So that's basically our preview for our league playoffs. So we'll just go ahead and clear that out. So what we'll do right now, very interesting that Natalie sent to me before we went on the air. Let me see if I can find that for you. Let me see here. Let's see if I can click that. We'll share screen, and the common players on each team. Of course, we do play fantasy football. Very, very interesting list we have here. Flynn, why don't you go ahead and well, since you presented this to me, I'll let you talk about this very interesting list here.
Yes, so every year after the fantasy regular season ends, Matthew Berry at ESPN compiles the list of the players who are the percentage of teams, meaning percentage of combined teams that made the playoffs, meaning that that a league that features this X player in the fantasy playoffs, and some of these names are pretty noteworthy and pretty obvious if you've been watching, and I'm gonna and Travis Kelce, who has just been an unbelievable tight end. So, and it's been Travis Kelce #1 at tight end, and then everybody else. But basically, with Travis Kelce, you have to start at tight end, and Kelsey's the only one that can have with the top tier running backs and top tier wide receivers in terms of fantasy points. And when I was looking at this list before I sent this to Tim, I realized that I had 4 players in this list, and these were my first 4 draft picks from draft night. I drafted in this order: Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, and Saquon Barkley, and which is one of the reasons why I have been so dominant all year. I mean, Saquon has been everything. I could not have asked for anything more from Saquon Barkley through the first 14 weeks. And I have Saquon Barkley in my other league as well, alongside Tyreek Hill. But these are basically your fantasy MVPs for the season, and these are the 10 players with 60% of leagues that feature these players in their playoffs. So it doesn't come as a surprise.
This is definitely, I guess you would call a who's who of fantasy football studs right here.
Yeah, and
so have these guys on your team, y'all should be very, very fortunate.
And I know that
guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I was just quickly glancing at some at the other our other friends who had players like this. I know so let's see here. Tyree, see who has I know Putnam got in with the services of Tyreek Hill and Justin Herbert, who is just below this list, and also Andrew had Jalen Hurts on there. He's right now probably the front runner for league MVP, and Andrew, as part of him making that run to the playoffs, a lot of it had to do with the play of Jalen Hurts. So he was not one of the first quarterbacks taken. As you can see, the average draft position was the highest of everybody, and Andrew took him. He went with it, and it paid off. And as a result, he's in the playoffs. Yep. So ready to move on to the next one, Tim.
Yes, he is. He is. Yes. So we'll be. Yeah. Let's go ahead and stop that screen right here, and we will go ahead and go forward to week 15 in the NFL. But right before we do that, let's get that. Let's get screen up here.
Yeah, but don't look, Natalie.
To that one that we got here.
Look away, Natalie. Look away.
Yeah. Natalie.
Is he still around?
Yeah. Yeah. Last week, Flynn and I. Is he? If we didn't see him on his camera, he's having camera issues. No, because we heard his voice. Well, anyway, Flynn and I went 7-6 last week, straight up pigs on that. They ever Flynn 6-7, 5-8. While spread picks for the tally pretty little bit. But 11 spread.
Yep, 2 and 11.
Straight up picks for the entire season. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm having connection problems here, and I think oh yeah. For the year, Flynn is straight up picks at 124 and against the spread for the year. Flynn is 108, 95 and 5. I am at 9. So that's basically right for our pricks straight up and against spread. And let's go ahead and close screen now, if it will. Yes, I know last few weeks, folks, I've been having some very serious problems, but it's kind of strange because we didn't really have much of these problems during the first few weeks of our season. So I don't know what to say about that. But I will say one thing. I say let's go ahead and jump into in the NFL. Let me go ahead and pop up that screen. Hold up. Hold on. Let me get that. Where is it? There it is. On it home on out the check out the matchups this week. And if y'all have any 2-year league playoffs, just shoot them to us, and we'll see if we can answer them the best we can. And of course, get you to make your picks as we do. See if you can pick the games better than we can. And I say we go ahead and get started here with our first matchup. Of course, the Thursday night matchup on Prime Video, a big NFC West division show between the San Francisco 49ers. It will be at Lumen Field in Seattle. And the 49ers are coming in at 3.5. So wait for Natalia to get back. We get started talking about this one. This kid, he did something that quarterbacks ever done. He got his first victory against the GOAT. So could he be the man here in San Francisco? What do you say about this one?
Yeah, but we'll have to see confirmation from Kyle Shanahan because he did have a couple of rib issues following the game. But yeah, Brock Purdy was fantastic for San Francisco, and
yeah,
he's surrounded by great coaching. He's surrounded by incredible weapons. When you think of Christian McCaffrey, you think of Brandon Ayuk, but Deebo Samuel avoided the worst case scenario. So there's a real possibility he comes back before the end of the regular season. But it's devastating for the Deebo Samuel fantasy owners who needed him to produce in the playoffs. But look, I think this is a fantastic matchup for Brandon Ayuk. Great matchup for Christian McCaffrey going up against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. And I think if I'm the 49ers, I'm licking my chops. If they're the better team, they've got the better coach, the better defense. And I think the Geno Smith truthers are going to have a rough weekend. So I'll take the 49ers to win. I'll take the 49ers to cover the 3.5-point spread. I know it's a division game. I know it's Seattle. It's the 12th man. But San Francisco is going to win this game 21-10. The tally?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta give Mr. Irrelevant props. This is probably the best Mr. Irrelevant we've seen in a while. Small sample size, but he's off to a terrific start. I mean, right now the Seahawks are falling apart. They've lost a couple of pieces of their offense. 49ers have their share of problems too, but the Seahawks' issues are worse. The Seahawks are probably going to fall apart, possibly not themselves out of the playoff position. Huh?
Well,
I'm here. Do you guys hear me?
I guess
Yeah,
until
I hear you.
Tally gets here, go ahead and give my pick on this one. This kid, like I said, did something no one of the quarterbacks ever done. He's got his first career victory against the GOAT, Tom Brady, and as Flynn just mentioned, he is surrounded by great players. Coaching, Geno's of course been good. A little bit more mojo field, and I agree wholeheartedly with I think the 49ers to win and cover. Score is going to be 27-23. Give me the 49ers on the road. And
you can finish what you were saying to Tally. Yep, he's here.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, while both teams have their issues, Seahawks' issues are far worse.
Okay.
So,
we got the private
so I
chat
have the Niners
here.
winning 31-26.
Man, I ain't heard nothing.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to go 31-26. I also have them covering.
Hear me? What he's got to say about this one. 49ers at Seahawks. It's always been a tough NFC West matchup. So, what do you got, Natalie?
Oh, yeah, I already spoke. I guess there's some audio issues or something.
We just gave our picks.
Anything.
Yeah, I have 31-26 for 49ers winning.
Yeah, and I know I heard Tim had 27-23.
I'm not hearing anything. I got my connection problems here. Hey, Natalia, you may have to put it in. You may have to. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Hartelli.
I've been here the whole time.
There he is. There he is in all of his glory. Natalia, you've never looked better. Sorry, I'm still having connection problem. For what you guys do.
We're going in 3 different phases here.
This thing called the internet, it can be real messed up thing, you know.
This is the funniest thing that's happened on this podcast since my Michael Pittman ran on draft night.
Yeah, gonna look at his light there.
Yeah.
That's good. So this, I always kind of type in.
Oops.
I'm not. Sorry, folks. I mean, if just going on, I've got having a bad connection. So as we go along. All right, let me message to Natalie. Let's see if I can send this to so you. Yeah, it might be is delayed. Oh my gosh. I, oh, I mean, this is like.
Yeah, but it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think we'll be best if we go through the rest of through as many games as possible in this one. So the next game on our list was the Minnesota Vikings on the Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. They're at home. They're favored by 4.5, taking on the Indianapolis Colts. What's your pick, Tally?
Yeah, I think this one is almost a no-brainer. The main we basically just got a couple of average quarterbacks, but however, you got essentially a top 5 wide receiver easily in Justin Jefferson. While Pittman's a solid, while Dalvin, while Jonathan Taylor is a solid quarterback, I think I got to give a slight edge to Dalvin Cook. So basically, all around, I think the Vikings are the better team, and they'll win the game easily, 32-24.
Yeah, I've got the Colts with a point in this one, Natalie. I think I think you look at Justin Jefferson against Stephon Gilmore. That's going to be a heck of a matchup on that front. And then then you look at Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce like having their go at it against the that porous Minnesota secondary. And like look, I don't think Minnesota's as good as the record indicates. They have they have a -1 point differential, even though they're 10-3, and it showed last week. And why I thought Lions -2.5 was one of the easiest picks of the week. So I'm gonna take the Vikings to win because all the Vikings do is win 1-score games, but it's gonna be a competitive game. So I'm gonna take the Colts with the points. But I've got a 26-23 final here when it comes to when it comes to the Vikings.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. So am I, what was your score for Minnesota in the tally?
Mine. What did I write down here? 32-24.
32-24.
So the Vikings winning and covering.
Yeah. All right, Tim.
Okay, now I did not get Natalie's score. Niners and Seahawks though.
Yeah, so Natalie has 31-26 San Francisco, so he's laying the 3.5.
Okay. And for this game, Colts and Vikings, I don't know. I was just kicked off for a few seconds, but just to let y'all know, in case Mr. Flynn has not mentioned it yet, 3 Saturday matchups, all on NFL Network. Very interesting. Colts and Vikings. I've really enjoyed the play of the Minnesota offense. Kirk Cousins, he's got probably one of the best, if not the best, duo of receivers in the league with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. This will be very interesting because hopefully Jonathan Taylor's going to have another good day, but I'm going to take the. You know what? This is actually my point spread game. I actually think that the Colts, but I'm taking Minnesota with the outright victory. So give me the Vikings over the Colts by a score of 27-24. probably with a late field goal with about maybe 4 minutes left in the game. So I'm taking 3 points.
They both be taking the points.
So right. Now we go to Cleveland, where we have a NFC North matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals. Oh no, Cleveland Browns. And the Burke win this game as 2.5-point favorites, probably because there will not be a superstar quarterback in the lineup. I'm not sure about that. Flynn could give us a little more information. Go, Flynn.
Yeah, Baltimore is going to be without Lamar Jackson most likely. So looks like Tyler Huntley is going to be the starter at quarterback. But in regards to this game, I can't stress enough how much I like the Cleveland Browns to win this game. I mean, Baltimore got a huge win in Pittsburgh on Sunday, but it was the Ravens won the turnover battle 3-0, but they only won by 2. So I think that's a reflection on Baltimore's roster without Lamar Jackson, particularly when you look at that offense. But I just don't think the Ravens are going to be good enough to hang on and win the division. So I'll take the Browns. I think Deshaun Watson, he felt more comfortable. He felt more comfortable, especially when it came to throwing to David and Njoku. And Njoku had his best game of the season. And it just happened to be Deshaun Watson's second start. But now this is Deshaun Watson's first home start as the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. So it's going to be a very interesting reception to what the Browns fans give him. But I think it's going to be more of a satisfactory one when the Browns win this game and keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Browns 27, Ravens 20. The tally?
Yeah, I see this one being a close one as well. I mean, Baltimore losing Lamar, that hurts big time. Yeah, I put them, I think, in our regular season, when we did our preseason predictions, I had the Ravens as the #1 seed. Looks like it's not going to happen at this stage, especially with Lamar out. If Lamar was playing, I think there's a possibility that they would have won this game. But now that Deshaun Watson is starting to get it together, I'm going to give the now edge to them here because they still got Nick Chubb. David Njoku has been very solid lately. And Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's been pretty decent. So give me the Browns to take this one 24-20.
And I'm going to be unanimous on this one. I am going to take Cleveland. Tyler Huntley filling in for Lamar Jackson makes all the difference in the world. I mean, Jackson is a very mobile quarterback, and if you don't have one of those, then there could be problems with the Ravens. I am taking the Browns at home to win and cover 24-20 over the Ravens.
Right.
And now for the the night matchup on. Yes.
So looks like we got you back on track in terms of the audio, so that's good news.
Well, so far.
Okay.
We'll just see what happens here. Let's go to the night matchup on the Saturday NFL Network doubleheader. I would pay money to see this one. I would pay money to see this one. It's Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are at home, 7.5-point favorites. This would be a very intriguing game here. Flynn, what you got?
So when you look at the spreads on there were 3 difficult games for me to pick, and this game was to me the single toughest game of the week to pick in terms of the spreads here. Now I'm gonna take Buffalo to win. They've got the better defense. They've got the better. They've got a great offensive line. They got excellent receivers and all that. But I think watching the Dolphins over the last couple of weeks here, I think there have been some weaknesses that have been exploited, and this was a direct result of after Terran Armstead, their outstanding left tackle, who they signed to a big time contract, went down due to injury, and as a result, Tua has become bad. And I don't think Miami is going to win this game. But I think Buffalo is going to do more. They're going to do just enough to win. It was a difficult game because Josh Allen has not played like an MVP since his bye week. Since he had that engineered that comeback win against Kansas City a couple in week 6. So, but I think I see a turning of the corner. It's an impossible environment for this Dolphins team to win in. So I'm gonna lay the 7.5 in this one. I'm gonna take the Bills to win this game. Bills 25, Dolphins 15.
Did you said 25-15?
Yes.
Oh, so you're taking the Bills with the points too?
It's not, but I'm just going through the thought process of how it was a tough game to pick against the spread.
Yeah, this one was the toughest one for me as well. Whether or not I was going to go against the spread on this one, but somehow after going back and forth, I'm going to give the teeniest bit of edge to the Dolphins on the points. I'm going to take the Bills to win the game, but Dolphins will just barely cover. It'll be 28-21. I think the Dolphins and the Bills will go toe-to-toe. I think it's open down to the fourth quarter. Wait, wasn't it a close game last time they faced off against each other?
Yeah, the Dolphins won the first time.
Yeah, and it was a one-score game, wasn't it?
It was a 2-point game. Remember the Bills botched the time management at the end of the first half of that one. That's the reason they lost that game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a very similar game to this one. What are you thinking, Tim?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a good game. This is definitely going to be a good game here, but I'm taking the Bills to win and cover 30-20. They're going to kind of pull away in the fourth quarter. So give me 30-20 Dolphins. That's what I got here.
30-20.
We now move to Sunday. That's right. 30-20. Give me the Bills. Now we're going to get into the Sunday matchups. First one here on the list here is the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers come in at 2.5-point favorites. Flynn.
Yeah, and if you listened to the podcast last week, you understood why it was tough to pick the Seattle Carolina game. Look, Carolina can absolutely should win this game. I think that the way Carolina's played since the departure of Matt Rule, I think Steve Wilkes has done a great job. I think Steve Wilkes deserves a chance to coach next season. And this is with the coaching change, with the departure of Christian McCaffrey, but the Panthers have had something going on. I really like how they've played defensively. I think what a part of what the Panthers have been trying to do since the 2020 draft. I think you're starting to see some of that fold defensively. Now, if the Panthers had a quarterback, the Panthers would be in first place in the NFC South. There's no question that a competent quarterback situation means the Panthers are in the driver's seat in the NFC South. Now, Panthers believe it or not, they're coming around here, but I just don't think the Steelers are that good. So I mean, the Steelers played hot potato with the football last week. It was not a good loss at all. And I'm going to pick the Panthers here. I think they have the better defense. I think there are more good vibes with Carolina here than there are with Pittsburgh. So I'll take the Panthers to win and cover. Panthers 21, Steelers 17.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this one was kind of a tough one. This can go either way. Both of the teams have their signs of struggles, but Probably the best bright side between the two teams is DJ Moore. He's been pretty solid. So because of that, I haven't gotten to do this in quite some time. But now I finally get to do this after maybe 5 weeks.
Carolina Panthers bringing the pain.
Here it comes.
Oh no. Blah blah blah.
29-26.
29-26. So you're taking the Carolina Panthers to win. All right, Tim.
I think I'm going to go with Carolina here as well, pretty much with everything that Flynn has said here. Both teams show signs of struggle, but gotta give edge to better team, better defense. I don't know about the defense here, but usually if it's almost a pick 'em, I go with the home team. So I say let's call it. Don't think it's going to be too much. I'm going to say give me Carolina 28-21. That's how I'm going to see it right there. It'll be interesting, though. Now we have the Philadelphia Eagles against the Chicago Bears, and not the biggest spread of the week. Those do come in to Soldier Field as 9-point favorites. Eagles are still top team in the NFL, still the best record in the league. So, what do you got here, Flynn?
Yeah, you said not the biggest spread. I think this is the best bet of the week. I think that this is Jalen Hurts going up against one of the worst defenses in football. Yeah, I think this is going to be another long day in the office, and the Eagles having finally got their mojo back. They completely dominated the Giants on the heels of that dominant performance against Tennessee. So I'm going to take the Eagles. They're going to win this game 31-16, and that's the largest margin of victory I have for anybody this week. So you know what that means, Tim? It's my lock of the week.
I think I know what you mean there, Mr. Flynn. Flynn is going to lock up those chickens. So, what do you see, Mr. Natale?
Yeah, it's pretty much safe to say that the Eagles are going to win this game. However, I do think there is another factor that we haven't really talked about as to why they're so good. 2 words: easy schedule. They've had the most friendly schedule this whole season. Why aren't they playing the tough teams? It's crazy. I think the only remote tough team they played was the Vikings. That's it.
Dallas.
True.
The division.
Right. That's what I wonder. Why were they given the luxury of a good schedule? That's what I want to know.
I said you could say the exact same thing about the Cowboys, the Giants, the Commanders. I mean, so every year the schedule rotation for what divisions they play in each conference. So this year the 2 divisions that the NFC East played in the NFC, they play the NFC North. Bears stink, Packers stink. And then they got the whole NFC South. Jags stink, Texans stink, Colts stink.
Yeah.
So the NFC East is the only NFC division that lucked out with the schedule this year.
Yep. And yeah, it's crazy. All 4 of those teams can very well make the playoffs.
Yeah, and also here, nothing is so the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants, they're all unbeaten in games against the other conference.
Yeah.
Washington has 1 loss, and that was against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, who would have thought? And I'm pretty sure that's never happened in NFL history where 4 teams from the same division made the playoffs. I doubt that's ever happened.
No, it was impossible. I mean, in the 90s, with when you only had 3 divisions and you could have 3 wild cards come out of the same division. I think that happened one year with the the Bucks, the Lions, and the Packers when they were all in their division.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. But you're
Yeah.
taking the Eagles. What's your score?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm not gonna. I mean, although I have an aggressive score, I'm not gonna go crazy and make it my lock of the week because I gotta spread it out a little bit. I gotta give some love to different teams here. I got a different team in mind for this one, but like I said, although this is my highest spread, I'm not making this my lock. I'm not gonna go too crazy. 39-20.
By the way, there's only been one game in NFL history with that final score. Do you know what that is?
No, I have no idea.
Super Bowl 21, the Giants' first Super Bowl win.
Oh, cool.
The only game with the final score of 39-20.
Interesting.
All right, Tim. What do you got in this one?
A little interesting trivia from Mr. Flynn right there. Yeah, this is like a total mismatch here. I'm gonna say, I mean, Philadelphia is just great. Justin Fields is a good quarterback, but he's probably going to need, I'd say, maybe about another year or two to really get into the groove, and he could probably carry this Bears team to the next level. But right now, in this game against Philadelphia, sorry, but there's no chance. Give me the filthy Philadelphia Chickens to take down those Chicago Bears by a score of 38-9.
Wow.
Yeah, 38-9. And before we go on to the next game, we have a shout out.
Yay.
A question, just a shout out to Max, my man Dashy. Dashy, big time Bengals fan. We'll be talking about those Bengals a little bit later, but I know you'll be around for tomorrow night for Alex Putnam and his show, Four Horsemen of Pigdom, which of course I'm part of that. Y'all tune in to the Apizzle 90 channel here on YouTube, youtube.com/Apizzle90. That's APIZZLE 90. And hope we'll see y'all there. Dash, thanks for watching, buddy. You got a question? Let us know. We'll see if we can answer for you, buddy. Take care. Good seeing you. Now we're going to move on to, well, we thought this last game we talked about could have been a matchup. Well, let's not jump ahead of ourselves on this one. This next game is the Kansas City Chiefs against the Houston Texans. Kansas City is coming into Houston as 14-point favorites. But there's a huge difference between last week and this week. Because last week, you a good quarterback. But this week, they face a great quarterback. Flynn, go.
And there's another difference in this game. The Texans faced a great defense. This week they play a terrible defense. If you watch how Kansas City played and how they allowed the Denver Broncos to score 28 points in a season where they can't even buy a 20-point outing. And there is a lot of problems here with Kansas City's defense, and I think that's ultimately going to be the thing that's going to hold them back from a championship this year. As great as Mahomes has been, as great as Kelsey has been, and I think and I love Spagnuolo, but I just think outside of that defensive line, that the talent's just simply not there yet. So yeah, it's probably going to be another off season for Brett Veach and company to bolster the defense through free agency and the draft. But until then, this is still Kansas City. Now, Damon Pierce, Natalia's current RB2, is out 1 to 2 weeks with an injury, so Natalia's going to have to make a change to that when in terms of his matchup against Casey in our fantasy league playoffs. But I digress. I'll take the Chiefs to win this game 27-17. So I'm going to grab the points here with the Houston Texans.
Interesting.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, I actually pretty much agree with everything you. I pretty much agree with everything you said there. Man, 14 points is kind of high, but give them some wiggle room at least. I mean, Kansas City is obviously better, even though they have their share of issues right now. So it doesn't. Honestly, it's not crazy taking the Texans with the points as bad as they are. They deserve at least some respect, at least, I guess. But I don't know. But give me the Chiefs anyway, 30-20.
Very interesting right there. Last week we predicted a black. We predicted that the Texans would be blown out. But that game damn near gave me a heart attack. I will admit that. But I'm going to be a little bit more competitive. Houston, I believe, can cover. In fact, I'm going to take Kansas City with the victory, but I'm taking Houston to cover. Give me a score of 30-20. Connections continue.
So you had 32.
Seemed like we were doing all right just for a little bit. Speaking of the Cowboys,
I think all of us
30-23.
Points. 35. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, all of us taking the Texans with the points. Interesting.
Yeah. So now, speaking of last week, let's talk about the Cowboys. Cowboys are heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars, and the Cowboys are at 4.5-point favorites. We should say that the Cowboys did sign a free agent wide receiver. No, it isn't who everyone was expecting, but it's actually former Colts standout and four-time Pro Bowler T.Y. Hilton. But as history has proven to us, it seems like when the Cowboys sign themselves a big-name free agent, 9 times out of 10, it is usually when they are past their prime. So, Flynn, as we talk about this game, does Hilton have anything left?
I mean, Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore are going to have to answer those questions when Moore hits the practice field this week. But even if Hill does suit up, he'll probably be the number 4 target for Dak Prescott. When you factor in CeeDee Lamb, when you factor in Michael Gallup, when you factor in your guy Dalton Schultz, and maybe even number 5 when you factor in Pollard and Zeke out of the backfield. But I just think this is a bad matchup for Jacksonville, and think about Jacksonville, right? Because I think Trent Baalke is on the hot seat. I think he should have been fired after last offseason, but give him credit for drafting Trevor Lawrence, give him credit for drafting Trayvon Walker. Under the radar, Walker's been having a pretty good season for Jacksonville. So I think that's something to look at. Something Trent Baalke will have to present to Shad Khan at the end of the season concerning his job, but I digress. But you just don't know what Jaguars team are going to get. One week they get blown out by the Lions. The other week they destroy the Tennessee Titans and put themselves squarely in the race to win the AFC South. It set up a 2-team race between those two teams. So. But I think it's going to be more of a reality check. I think the Cowboys, they've been making too many mistakes over the last 3 weeks. If the Cowboys play the way they did the last 3 weeks, it's going to end up in elimination in January with the mistakes Dak Prescott has to make. But we'll have to see more from Dak to see if he can actually win a road playoff game against Tom Brady or Kyle Shanahan's 49ers and all of that. But in any event, I'll take the Cowboys to win this game 31-21. Natalie?
Yeah, this is the game I definitely need Dak to do well in. 'Cause, yeah, he's basically my QB now from here on out. They're clearly I think the Cowboys are clearly the better team. Got one of the best 1-2 running back duos in the whole NFL between Zeke and Pollard. They've been very solid together. Uh, they got all around better team. So all the wide receivers, probably their Jaguars' best receiver is Christian Kirk, but it's going to take more than him to put them over the top. And the Cowboys clearly have the best defense too, led by Micah Parsons, I guess, and Van Der Esch. They got all those guys. So very solid all around. I mean, although I have a high scoring game here as well, this is also not my lock. Hint, my lock of the week is somewhere in the bottom row. But as far as this game goes, I think the Cowboys are going to double up 32-16.
I think I know where you're going with that lock of the week thing, Natalie, and it's not pretty. All right, Sam, what do you got?
Thirty says that the Cowboys are going to double up on the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting score right there. Interesting statistics. Has come back after his injury. He has thrown eight interceptions, which actually leads the league in that span of time. That is not a good thing. And it seems like, to me, he's being a little too aggressive. I mean, they need to feed Zeke. They got to stick with the running game. It has been working very well. Don't throw the ball all the time. Just when you think, I mean, when you have a good chance to make a good throw, do it. Otherwise, just give it to Zeke, give it to Tony. And I see CD Lamb has made a couple of good rushes. Yes, Mr. Flynn.
Yes, yeah. Because I want to interrupt. I mean, give you a pick first, and then I'll share some news with Natalie.
Okay, well, hopefully this game is not going to be much of a heart attack on me as last week's game, but I'm taking my Cowboys take down the Jaguars by a score of 33-23.
Yeah. Yes. So this is something that
So
Natalie
what do you have for us?
So Jeff Passan, shortstop Carlos Correa, and the San Francisco Giants are in agreement on a contract, Natalie. 13 years, $350 million.
Jeez. That's weird. I didn't get an ESPN alert on that yet. Huh. Okay. Guess I'll get the ESPN alert shortly, I guess.
So Carlos Correa just signed the longest free agent contract in baseball history.
Gee, that's insane. Yeah, I know the Yankees were linked to him, but I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting the Yankees to get him. I knew that wasn't happening.
Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to tell Natalie that news because it just broke on ESPN. So
that's insane.
All right, Tim. So let's get back to the games here. Let's start the third row.
All right, let's start that third row with what might be a snooze fest here. We got the Atlanta Falcons going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Saints are 4-point favorites. I don't see nothing really much to write home about for this particular game. Flynn, who you got?
Nothing, perhaps, other than the fact that this might be our first split decision of the entire of the night so far. So I'm taking the Falcons. This is my upset special for the week. I'm taking the Falcons to win the game. I think they have the better team. They finally give Desmond Ridder a chance to start. He's going to be making his first NFL start on Sunday. They finally benched Marcus Mariota for Marcus Mariota for his transgressions, but it is my upset special of the week. Give me the Falcons and my guy Arthur Smith.
Oh, wait a minute!
You hit the lock of the week.
I hit the wrong darn thing. That's not your lock. I hit the wrong darn thing. That's wrong. Forget about that. There we go.
The second funniest thing that's happened this season.
Hold up a second.
Oh, now I got the ESPN alert.
The second funniest
I thought
thing
this
that's
eggnog
happened.
was non-alcoholic. Yeah. Check this again.
Falcons
It tastes
27, Saints.
good, though.
Falcons 27, Saints 23.
Natalie.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Tim said on this one. This game is definitely going to be a snooze fest. This one has my lowest combined point total. I think in the end, it's just going to come down to who has the ball last. I think just going to say, why not? Feed it to Alvin Kamara. He'll be the difference maker. Just give me the Saints in a scoring fest, 19-14.
Well, yeah, this is another split decision here. I don't
all comes
have
down to
as
you.
low as a little bit. I'll go the Saints home scoring game 17. Like I said, nothing really much to write home about for this particular game. As we move along to
what's your score again? Because I didn't catch that.
Saints 20, Falcons 17.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's taking the Falcons at the points.
Yeah, and the tally has 19-14 Saints.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, well, we're all over the map. I have win and cover. Upset special, and Tim has win/cover. We are definitely all over the map on that one.
All
Three
right,
different perspectives.
Yeah, we're kind of all over there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to New York, where the Jets are going to be home against the visiting Detroit Lions. Lions coming in at 1 point, so this is almost a pick 'em, Flynn.
So, yeah, I think this game is going to come down to a couple of things here. I think is whether or not Mike White plays and whether or not Quentin Williams plays. And if both of them play, this is going to be a win, a comfortable win for the Jets because Mike White gives the Jets the best chance to win on offense, and Quentin Williams, in his dominant self defensively, I think he's going to he can dominate. And I think he's going to want to play. I think Robert Saleh is going to let him play because it's basically go time now for the Jets. Now they're tied in the standings in the AFC in the playoff picture with the Patriots and the Chargers, all three teams at 7-6. But I think the Jets, outside the Cowboys, this is the best defense the Lions have seen all year, and I think the Jets are going to give them a dose of their own medicine. So this is actually the lowest scoring game on my end for the week. I have the Jets winning in a classic defense battle, 17-12.
Whoa, is that another upset?
I mean, I won't. I mean, I have the underdog winning, but it's only 1 point, so I really don't consider it an upset. So it's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, this one for me. This one was like a true toss up. This one could go either way. I kind of had to pick the team that I felt is personally doing better now, putting record aside. Probably which team is probably the closest to being. Who has made more of an improvement, I guess, is what I'm looking. Well, so I didn't decide it's to the Lions. I think they're still pretty solid. I mean, it's hard to doubt Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's very solid. He's been carrying that team. And he had DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams. They make a pretty decent 1-2 punch. And I think I'm going to go as far as saying this game might even go into overtime. I could see this being overtime. I see a game-winning field goal by the Lions, 27-24.
Interesting there. Interesting. I think the Jets are starting to kind of start to wake up from their dream of having a great season. I think they're about to come back to reality. Detroit, I've said for the last few weeks, do not sell Detroit short because they have a pretty good offense and they can score some points like they did against the Cowboys a few weeks back. I'm taking the Lions on the road for this. Give me the Lions over the Jets by a score of 23-20. So with that, we are going to move on to Denver, where the Broncos are going to be hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Broncos are coming in at 2.5-point favorites. So, Flynn, what about this NFC matchup? Is there anything we can get out of this one?
I mean, you would if there was something you would call a toilet bowl game, this is it. I mean, the Broncos are mathematically eliminated from postseason contention, and the Cardinals just lost Kyler Murray for the season and possibly all of the offseason because of the ACL tear. So it's going to take probably a year for Kyler to fully recover from that. So, but I just think the Cardinals have a very bleak future over the next few years. I mean, so Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray all had contract extensions agreed upon, and last night they went up against the Patriots offense, which I don't think was particularly good, given that Matt Patricia, a defensive coordinator and Lions reject, is calling the plays offensively, and the fact the Cardinals got lost by double digits to that Patriots team tells you everything you need to know about the state of the franchise. They're rudderless, they're clueless. Cliff Kingsbury is not the answer. I think Steve Keim is gonna lose his job this offseason as a result of the Cardinals' failures over the last four seasons. So I'll take the Broncos. It's crazy if they actually showed up offensively for a week. I'll take the Broncos to win and cover 19-16.
Yeah. For me, this was probably like a borderline toilet bowl game, like very close to being one. If Kyler Murray was playing, I would probably say Cardinals easily, but now with Colt McCoy, probably not going to happen. He's an okay quarterback, special. As good as decent as the Cardinals offense is, it might be hard to stand up to the Bronco defense. And as bad as the Broncos offense is, their defense is actually pretty respectable, which I think is going to be the difference maker here. So give me the Broncos to win in a somewhat of a snooze fest. What did I write down here? 21-17 Denver over the Cardinals.
Well, I'm going to call this. This is my lowest combined score of the week. Kyler Murray's out. Cardinals are pretty much going to go down, and as Flynn said, Denver is mathematically pretty much eliminated from playoff contention. This is going to be probably another snooze fest, but I'm going to say Denver Broncos win this one by a score of 16-10.
This was a candidate to be
Broncos 16-10 on this one.
Yeah, this was a candidate to be a split decision by us, but we all took the home team to win and cover.
However, if Kyler Murray was playing, I would have picked them.
Yeah, but says everything you need to know about the artist formerly known as
let's
Arizona Cardinals.
say hypothetical.
Now let's go to Las Vegas. Exactly. The Raiders are going to be at home against the visiting New England Patriots. The Patriots coming in at 1.5-point favorites. So, Flynn, what do you see here?
I mean, our guy Lucas is trying to get into the screen here because he's giving us a hello. Let's get it. LC Muscles is in the chat. So
Yes, he is. LC Muscles, my man, my Steeler fan, one of my fellow horsemen. Again, he'll be showing up on the Four Horsemen of Pigham's Apizzle 90. That's his channel, youtube.com/apizzle90. Tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. So thanks for coming in, LC. Much love to you, brother. Boom. Thanks, bro. See you tomorrow night. So we were very kindly interrupted by our good buddy Lucas. What you got for the Patriots and the Raiders?
Yes, so this is the second of the 3 difficult games that I had to pick, and I was tempted. I was tempted to pick the Patriots because of Bill Belichick against Josh McDaniels in the Josh McDaniels revenge game, but Matt Patricia it showed why he's not the guy to call the plays offensively for the Patriots, and Derek Carr, I think with McDaniel's offense and with Devontae Adams in the fold, this is going to be a bit of a stretch here. And I'm philosophically opposed to picking the Raiders this year. I mean, I learned the hard way last week when the Raiders blew a 16-3 lead against Baker Mayfield and the Rams, which is quite an ominous statement. But the thing is, I don't think the Patriots are that good offensively. I think that's a pretty super problem here when it comes to this game. And I'm going to take the Raiders to win 23-22 over the Patriots.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, this one was kind of a tough one to call.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, this one can go either way. This one was kind of you could say is really a coin flip. Although the Raiders have the better offense, I think. I'll say that. But I don't know. When it comes to the defense, I got to give the Patriots some props. You can see what they did that last game. That defense is, I think, better than what they appear to be. All those sacks, all those interceptions, a forced fumble. Yeah, that defense is sneaky good. I'm willing to admit it. I wrote them off right away. I had them as a last place team when I did my season predictions earlier. Who knows? It could still go either way. They're fighting for a playoff spot. And they actually have a pretty decent chance now. But it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to give that edge to that New England defense. They're a lot stronger than they look. So give me the Patriots game-winning field goal, 28-25.
Wow. Well, it looks like I got to break the tie again. And from what I see here, I got to go with a slightly better quarterback, slightly better running back. I know they say offense wins games, but defense wins championships. I believe it's going to be the offense for the Raiders to take control of this one. It's going to be a close matchup. Give me the Raiders over the Patriots by a score of 24-21. So that's how I see that one. And now we're going to go to Los Angeles, where the Chargers are at home as the visiting Tennessee Titans, 3-point favorites. Flynn, what you got here?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Titans to win this game. Now, I think that it's Justin Herbert against that Titans secondary is going to be a fun watch for them. But it's Derrick Henry against the Chargers rush defense, and I think the Titans can control the terms of this game when you look at them running the football and them but putting pressure on the quarterback. So I'm going to take the Titans to win this game 23-21.
Nice.
Yeah. So, who you got, Natalie?
Ready? Yeah, well, here we go. 4 games left. And my upset special hasn't been said yet. Neither has my lock of the week happened yet. Will it happen with one of these? Let's see. Yeah, this one will go either way. The Chargers have a above average quarterback. The Titans just average. When we look at the running backs, they're both very comparable. I would say give the edge to Austin Eckler there. Just a slight edge over Derrick Henry. He's not as involved as in the passing game as Eckler is. The wide receivers probably about average. Maybe slight edge to San Diego there. But when it comes to defense, I got to give the edge to the Titans here. My instinct has the Titans winning. This is my upset of the week. Titans 27, Chargers 22.
Oh.
So we got one upset down, but not my lock. There's 3 games left for me to have a lock. Which one will it be, though? Let's see. But this is my upset for the week.
I got you there. And guess what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow suit.
So you were unanimous in picking Tennessee. Interesting.
I am predicting a very good game. Predicting a good game from Derrick Henry. I can see him getting at least maybe, I'm going to say 120 yards on the ground. I think the Chargers are still a little banged up, but I am taking Tennessee as my upset special. Give me the Titans over the Chargers 27-24. Now we're going to go to Tampa Bay, where Tom Brady and the Bengals are going to be, or Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. We're bringing in Joe Burrow and the Bengals are coming in at 3.5-point favorites. So, Flynn, what we got here? I can't think of anything else to say about this.
Yeah, I think all the Tampa Bay Tampa weaknesses were exposed in dramatic fashion against San Francisco. That they can't pass block. They can't stop couldn't stop Christian McCaffrey and couldn't stop Brandon Ayuk. And they couldn't stop Brock Purdy. I mean, Mr. Irrelevant became Mr. Relevant thanks to the Buccaneers, and the coaching isn't there. But the problem for the Buccaneers is they're not facing the Rams and they're not facing the Saints. So this defense is much better than the ones that they've seen during their miracle comebacks on the national stage earlier this season. So I'll take the Bengals to win and cover here. They win 26-16 over the Buccaneers. Natalie?
Yeah, as tempting as it is to pick Brady at home, I can't do it here. The Bengals offense is just too good. They have a solid big 3. Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. Who am I missing? Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. Oh, T. Higgins. They're definitely a solid big 3. They're better than Tampa's big 3. They're all over the place. And is this my lock of the week? This one is not my lock either. So we're down to a 50-50 shot here. This game is going to be close, but Bengals are going to edge them out 25-20.
Okay, before I get to my something I think we've done there before. I'm actually going to invite, since we're talking about the Bengals, let me close this out a little bit. I've never done this before, and I'm actually going to let him join the show. Dashi, I'm sending you the link. I want to bring Dashi on because we're going to save him for last because the Bengals are his team. But before we bring him in, I am going to give my prediction on this one. Yeah, Bay was Tampa Bay was exposed from here on out. Oh, and we have our very special guest, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to Fantasy Football Fever for the very first time, and hopefully won't be the last. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Masked Deadly Dashy 937.
Hey, what's
Not much.
Welcome.
Let me
Welcome to the
give you
show.
my takes about my game. All right,
Can you hear there, Dashy?
I, I can hear. So let me
yeah, we
say
can
this.
hear you.
Let me say this about my game. We are 3.5 point favorites. I know that, but we have never beaten Tom Brady on the road. But this defense, I've never given up a 300 passing yards by the opposing quarterback in a single game this season. Tom Brady threw for 300 passing yards 3 times. And plus, we have stopped last 3 games. We held Derrick Henry to 36 rushing yards. We held Pat Mahomes to 226 passing yards. And last week we held Nick Chubb to 34 rushing yards. I think we could beat Tampa Bay in this one. I think we will. Giving the Bengals to beat the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. While you're still here, so I think it's one of the teams that can beat the Buffalo Bills in a playoff game, and I think Cincinnati, I think, is ahead of Baltimore in terms of confidence, in terms of feel. So given that the Ravens have blown leads and Lamar Jackson is not hurt, so what are Bengals fans saying about their chances at beating the Buffalo Bills in a potential playoff matchup? Or because we know everything that they're saying about Kansas City. I mean, so the Bengals and the Chiefs have met 3 times in 2022, and the Bengals have won every single time. The division, the AFC North clincher last year, the championship Sunday. A few weeks later, then of course a couple of weeks ago, when they beat the Chiefs, thanks to a couple of special teams miscues by Kansas City. So, what is the confidence level going up against a team like Buffalo?
Going up against Buffalo, I think my family has every right to be confident in that game. And I do think we do have a shot to beating the Bills, but it's Josh Allen. He does well in prime time, but we'll see how he does because we may have a quarterback I may beat him because last time we played the Bills, we lost. But this time I think we got will be different because Buffalo is coming to Cincinnati where they haven't won since 2016.
Right, and so and I mean we're looking at the possible. We'll see what happens with Buffalo and Cincinnati because if Cincinnati wins that Monday night game in a couple of weeks, that's going to be huge because then they can go into week 18 potentially having the tiebreakers, and I expect Cincinnati to beat Tampa. I expect Cincinnati to beat New England. So and I certainly think they can beat Baltimore. And since remember the last time Cincinnati and Baltimore met, Cincinnati I thought outplayed Baltimore for 58 minutes of that game before the Ravens won on Justin Tucker's field goal. So to me, with Cincinnati now at 9-4, could they be 12-5 and be the 1 seed? Because I think the number 1 seed this year means more than anything else, because you've got so many teams that you got to account for, like Kansas City. I know I said earlier on the show I think they have weaknesses on defense, and I thought they were exposed against Denver on that accord. So Miami, but you've already beaten Miami, and I think Miami has some holes exposed. But Cincinnati with that offense, with and the way the linebackers have played, they've improved since this time last year, which I think is a really big thing. And we saw them make a couple big plays on Championship Sunday last year. So I think there's a lot of confidence with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, we will wait till see how this game on Sunday goes, but we gotta beat Tampa Bay so we can keep pace with Baltimore for that division, for the AFC North.
Yeah. I mean, with that Baltimore game, none of us are picking Baltimore. We're all picking the Browns because I think I just think Baltimore is worse without Lamar Jackson. We saw that down the stretch last year. So
Exactly.
So if you're a Bengals fan like you, I think you have to be feeling pretty good right about now.
Yeah, I'm a Bengals fan, so I had to feel pretty good, but at the same time, Ravens are on their third string quarterback, may start him.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. We'll come then.
All right. And Tim, I will have you on my show next week, so I gotta get out of here. I got work in the morning, so thanks for having me on, Tim.
Hey, we do appreciate you, Dashy. Yeah, we'll get together next couple days and pick as you'll.
Right.
Our friend Mask Deadly Dashy 937 signing off. Great that he showed up to support his Bengals. And just like Dashy, I'm going to support the Bengals in this game. In fact, not only am I taking the Bengals, but
lock of the week. Ooh.
Yeah, this is my lock of the week. I'm going first.
What's your score?
The Bucks were seriously. My score is 28-23. Win and cover, very good. The Bucks were definitely exposed last week, and I think the Bengals are going to take advantage of it. So I am locking up those Bengals. The Sunday night game. We got to get to Sunday night first. NBC. Yes. NFC East matchup between the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. Commanders coming to this one 4.5-point favorites. So, Flynn, these are your guys here. So, what do you see?
Yeah, this is the most important game of the NFL season to date. There is absolutely, positively, no question. The stakes in this game are the highest they've been for any NFL game this season up until now, and both these teams are 7-5-1. They are tied, and one of these teams is going to win, and so this game basically counts for 2 wins, because the winner of this game will also get the tiebreaker over Washington, or over the other when it's all said and done here with that. And I remember these 2 teams tied a couple weeks ago, but Washington's coming off its bye week. But reality is going to set in here. I'm picking the Commanders. I'm picking the Commanders to win the game. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think, I mean, they're going to put all the chips out on the table here. I mean, I'm going to take the Giants with the points, but I just think Washington's slightly better. I think that there's certainly that feel with Taylor Heineke at the round of games in Washington. I know Daniel Jones' prowess against Washington throughout the course of his career, but I think Washington's going to win this game 27-24 and really and give a kiss of death to the playoff hopes for the 2022 New York Football Giants. Natalie?
Well, here we go. 2 games left. One of these is the lock of the week. The other is not. Let's see. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, this one was kind of a tough one for me. Basically like you said, like the winner, basically whoever loses this game kind of knocks out their playoff hopes. I mean, while the loser's not mathematically eliminated, it's just going to be even harder path. And both of these teams have their share of problems right now. Ugh. This matchup I do not like. The Giants are losing players like flies. Ugh. I mean, Washington hasn't been particularly good either. But the one thing that's also going wrong for the Giants, they cannot win night games to save their life. I don't know why they always play so bad at nighttime, which is ridiculous. It's crazy. I mean, my heart says Giants, but in the end, I got to go with my gut. My gut tells me the Commanders, unfortunately. 23-18. Is this my lock of the week? No, it is not.
Okay. I thought that was going to be your lock of the week.
No.
I
couldn't
think we have.
I'm not doing that twice in a row. I'm not doing that 2 times in a row.
For his lock of the week right now.
I am not doing that twice in a row. Picking against the Giants twice for a lock. I'm not doing that. All right. Well, what do you think, Tim?
No, and I am not gonna go with the Giants either. Commanders coming off a bye. Giants are kind of fighting for their playoff lives, but of course there's that every single team in the NFC East could make the playoffs. I don't know if there's a chance of that now, but I'm just going to go ahead and take the Commanders at home. I'm going to take Commanders to win 27-24. I'm taking the Commanders with the win.
Same exact score as Flynn. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, with the loss, we have us Giants fans have to pray for the Seahawks to lose.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Seattle because they got San Francisco, and I think Seattle's going to get their butts kicked on Thursday.
Yeah, so I think after all said and done, Giants will be the number 7 seed regardless.
And I have the Lions losing to the Jets, so if that result holds, I mean, if Seattle and Detroit lose, neither team can be knocked out of a playoff spot,
right?
Regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I think even if the Lions win, I think the Giants are still ahead. I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
because Lions would be 7-7, right?
Yes, Detroit would be 7-7. The loser of Giants Commanders would be 7-6-1.
Right. So Giants would still be ahead.
Yeah.
So they're not really in any danger yet, as long as Seattle doesn't win.
Yeah.
Because Seattle.
Yeah, but also, I think it's worth noting the schedules for all these teams. So the Giants have Washington at Minnesota versus Indy at Philly, and Philly might be resting their starters in Week 18. So that's a key. Washington got the Giants. They're at San Francisco. They are versus tennis. No, they are. They're somewhere Week 17. That I know they finished the season against Dallas. Detroit. Yeah, Detroit's got the Jets, Carolina, the Bears, and the Packers.
Yeah.
And Seattle's got the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Jets, and the Rams. Right. So Giants fans are going to be rooting for the Jets 2 of the next 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I believe I saw a graphic earlier today. I think the Giants have the second hardest schedule down the stretch of every team, of all the teams.
in the NFL.
From here on out, the Giants have the second toughest schedule.
Yeah.
53% winning percentage of all opponents.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't care. It doesn't matter
Wow.
the opponent. You just got to win.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, on to the
Yeah,
last game,
that's
Monday Night
right.
Football.
Yes, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Also, it's going to be on ABC. And also, there is Manning Night Football on ESPN. I think on ESPN2,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, ESPN
It
2.
is the Los Angeles Rams against the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers are 7-point favorites. But Flynn, I must say, I think 7 points is just a little too nice. I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I'm saying that 7 points is not quite enough, in my opinion. What do you say?
I mean, I actually have I'm actually grabbing the 7 points here with the Rams. Believe it or not. I'm gonna take the Packers to win. I can make no mistake about it with the environment, with Monday night, with the Packers having more than 2 weeks to get ready for this game. So, but I just think something has just been off with the Packers all year. It's just been a lost season for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. But I think that they're gonna win. I have them winning 24-19. But I think the Rams and McVay now has more than a week to understand Baker Mayfield and what he brings to the table. So that's why I think it's going to be a closer game than people think. All right, Natalie. So we know this is your lock of the week. So explain why.
Yeah, obviously, because the Rams have not been the same since losing Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford.
All right,
The back.
we'll go ahead and show that. Go ahead, Flynn. Go ahead. Or go ahead, Natalie.
Yeah, this team just this team just hasn't obviously been the same since losing Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. You definitely need Cooper Kupp to win, and the Rams don't have much of a defense at all. The current quarterback, he hasn't really done anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Packers have had their share of problems too, but they're definitely not worse than the Rams. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is improving little by little. I think he's trying to get his form back. I mean, Alan Lazard, he's been very solid for them, and their defense has been sketchy, but their defense is obviously better too. So, with that, I have the Packers 31-23.
All right, Tim.
All right. And I am going to take the Packers because like I said, I was kind of finished I was finished with picking the Rams for a little while now. They just seem to be getting worse and worse and worse, and Green Bay is getting to be it's their time of year. It's December. Snow's going to be falling on Lambeau Field anytime now. Whenever snow's on the field, you can pretty much pick Green Bay as a lock for any game in December or January or into the postseason. Of course, I've already given my lock of the week, but I'm going to take the Packers with the win and the points. Give me the Packers over the Rams, 38-27. And so with that, it has been a very interesting show. Wow, we had a lot of good stuff on this one.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I want to thank Dashy. I mean, I never had someone come in like this before, so I just wanted to let him come in, give him a chance to talk about the Bengals. And I kind of agree with what Flynn is saying here. The Bengals are kind of like a very good team that no one wants to talk about. I mean, I think there is something in Cincinnati. They just need to get to that next level, which I believe they can. How soon, I don't know.
And I think I think something what I think the statement that I think needs to be talked about was the game against Tennessee on Thanksgiving weekend where they had to play on the road against the first place team looking for revenge for for uh, for losing to that team in the playoffs. Cincinnati beating Tennessee with the 3 interceptions, but the Bengals were without Joe Mixon, their star running back, and Jamar Chase, their star wide receiver. But they found a way to win the game, and I think that was a significant deal, and that changed the entire conversation when it came to the balance of power in the AFC. That was when you were finally able to put the Bengals back in the Super Bowl conversation. And what's happened since that they beat Kansas City, they were able to take care of business against Cleveland in a potential trap game situation, game in the division. But they wound up covering that game. So yeah, the Bengals should absolutely be in the conversation of teams that can go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. I mean, they were there last year. Joe Burrow is tough and clutch, and he's able to do to be both those and play at a high level. And you look at what Zach Taylor brings to the table, and I mean there are a lot of questions about Zach Taylor's job security going into the start of last season, but he's for the most part he's done a pretty good job since that lost season in 2020.
Samaje Perine was pretty solid while Mixon was out. He did very well filling in. He's an intriguing sleeper.
Very, very much so. I'm going to keep my eye on Cincinnati from here on out because they do have some talent to do great things. Maybe just push a little bit more. Maybe go deep into the playoffs. I mean, who knows? But this is a team that I think everybody out there should have their eyes on. And right now, I think we're going to put my eyes on wrapping up this show. So next week is our the show before Christmas.
Yeah, we should probably wear our Christmas gear for that extra
Yes.
Christmas sweater day. Maybe we're Santa hats or something. I don't have any football related Christmas stuff, but I have Christmas sweaters, so I plan on wearing that for next week's show.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I got my Cowboys ugly Christmas sweater. I got it over in the closet over here. Gonna pull that out, pull out the Santa hat.
Nice.
See if Irene can upgrade our StreamYard. See if maybe she can, depending on how she's feeling, because she's still in the hospital. She went back into the hospital, another flare up. Irene, get better. We love you. Hopefully, she can maybe come up with a Christmas intro for our next show. It's getting closer to Christmas, so we'll be here next week, same time, same place.
And also more importantly, good luck to everybody for the fantasy football playoffs. I know I'm up against Tim. We've got Natalie going up against Casey. We have Andrew St. Clair going up against Nick Dennison, and of course we have Dino going up against Putnam. So some interesting matchups. And remember, we're going to keep our eyes on what's going to go down between Andrew and Nick. It's going to be a fascinating matchup to see if Nick can yank one out against Goliath.
Yeah, and of course the revenge matchup. Me and Flynn. I gave Flynn his first and only defeat this season.
And that was by 2 points. I was 2 points away from a perfect regular season.
Yeah, that Christian Kirk, I think, is going to haunt you for a long time.
Yeah.
But in one way, but not in the real world. But
so, I'm happy that's how if that's how I lose, I wouldn't mind that, because that means the Giants would have been in far more dire straits because of that. So
yep.
So
All right.
Just imagine if you were undefeated and that's how it ended.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. I hope you'll join us next week for our Christmas show. Let y'all know who's moved on to our playoffs and who was eliminated. We'll get to week 16 next week. The weather's getting colder, but the action is getting hotter. Join us next week for another edition of our show. For John Flynn, don't forget, Hooked on Sports. We have the links in the description area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
And
I'll be.
he just broke that story about Craig getting that big contract. I know he's got a lot to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one episode this week because I was busy with other stuff. So yeah, you know I'll be talking about everything that went down with the Mets and the Mets shopping spree and why it's a good thing for baseball going forward. I mean, we'll get into the Yankees and Aaron Judge. How do you feel about that first time on this podcast since Aaron Judge?
Yeah, that's a relief. I thought for sure he was going to be a Giant.
I mean, we were at the time we were recording this podcast last week. There were serious conversations about Aaron Judge going to the Giants.
Yeah, but then when the report came out, I knew it was fake because John Heyman spelled his name wrong. He's the worst. He's the worst one. He's the worst reporter. I never trust him.
No, Bob Nightingale is worse. I mean, I remember.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. They're definitely the bottom two. They're comparable.
I mean, 2 years ago, he tweeted that the Mets signed Brad Hand, and I thought it was going to be big because the Mets needed a left-handed reliever. Now the Mets got a left-handed reliever when they acquired Brooks Raley from Tampa. He is pretty reliable, and I think he fits into what Jeremy Hefner, the pitching coach, wants from his lefty relievers. So
yeah, true. So yeah, let's move forward. This is not fantasy baseball fever now.
And Xander Bogaerts to the Padres, by the way. Bag it, Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tim.
All right.
Yeah, this isn't fantasy baseball fever.
Yeah, for all you baseball fans out there, just for y'all, just be sure to click on one of the links down below to listen to John Flynn Hooked on Sports. He'll be back next week. I'm sure our commissioner will be back next week. Of course, I will be back next week. Who knows? We may have another surprise guest on our show next week. Who knows? But be sure to join me tomorrow night on A Pizzle 90's channel for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. YouTube.com/APizzle90, APIZZLE90. So, we'll be back next week for our Christmas show. For John Flynn, John Natale, and everyone here, I'm Tim McClellan. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you have a great week. Enjoy the games. God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.